You're live.
I'm not live yet. I can be.
morning. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today to our big social media launch. Of course, we do everything big here in Dallas, and our friends from the Dallas Visitors and Conventions Bureau help to underscore that with their Dallas Big campaign. We decided to put our own spin on their Dallas Big hashtag and create our own hashtag for our big social media launch. Sorry, a little nervous. So for today's tweet up, we would like everyone to use the hashtag DPDTweetsBig on all of your tweets. And we encourage you to go downstairs after the press conference and take photos inside the big blue B&G. As for today's program, first, Chief Brown will talk about the Dallas Police Department's focus on social media and why he feels it's so important. He will also discuss some of our social media accomplishments and new communities we hope to reach in the future. Then, Sean Williams, Manager of Media Relations and Community Affairs, will talk about 2 new technology platforms we will begin to use starting today, as well as the results of our recent communications survey. Finally, Lieutenant Max Barron from our Public Information Office will talk about social media training our officers went through last week, as well as more social media opportunities we see for the future. And now we'll hear from Chief Brown.
Okay, so what does social networking have to do with policing? Well, it goes back 30 years actually for me, before social networking came into existence. My field trainer, Mike Murphy, finally let me drive for about 2 weeks of being on the field training and worked the evening shift. And Mike was just coming off being named the Officer of the Year for Dallas Police Department. He was extraordinary at his craft. So he let me drive after about 2 weeks, and as I was driving down familiar streets in the cold of winter in December of 1983, he told me to roll down the windows to the car in the dead of winter. And I thought that was the strangest thing. And as we stopped at red lights and stop signs, he would tell me, don't just look ahead, rookie, in front of you. Look to the left and to the right, and look several blocks down from where we are when we stop. So you'll have a chance at seeing what's happening on your beat. And another one of the many lessons I learned from Mike Murphy while on field training some 30 years ago, and probably the most important, is that Mike would park the car and make us get out and we walk our beat. And this is several streets. And we just be talking to folks and listening and interacting with the public. It seemed as if everyone knew my trainer, Mike Murphy. And it seemed like Mike Murphy knew everyone. His claim to fame that he was prolific as catching criminals in the act of committing a crime. And during my 17 weeks on training, and Mike was my initial training, and the trainer had to come back to, we put a lot of folks in jail. Murphy is retired now, but like the writer Joseph Wambach's Blue Night, he has transfixed this crazy idea in my head that public servants should have as its highest priority interacting with the public. 2013 ended a decade of the most significant decline in crime on record in Dallas. There was a 47% reduction over the last 10 years. Our goal is to reduce crime an additional 30 to 40% over the next 3 to 5 years. And we continue to need the public's help, Ms. Hill, in doing our job, because we just can't do it alone. There are over 600 million people using Twitter, and over 1 billion, that's what it be, billion people using Facebook. Just last year, the Dallas Police Department had over 500,000 interactions with the public through social networks. At one event, our Coffee with Cops, we had over 3 million social media impressions last year. So let's roll our windows down. Let's stop and look ahead several blocks, scanning left and right. Let's park our car and walk around and just listen to what folks are saying and maybe interject a thought or two. Let's hashtag TPD, tweet Diddy. Hashtag see something, say something. Hashtag start snitching. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and Murphy, wherever you are, can I at least turn up the heat because it's freezing? And Murphy would say, go ahead, Rookie. So today we want to share this with you some new social media platforms that we'll be using moving forward. And to talk with you further about those platforms, I want to bring up our manager of our media relations group, Sean Williams. And I also want to recognize that Sean comes up any other community leaders that are present here today besides Ms. Hill, Ken Smith. Thank you so much. If there's any others here that I'm not seeing here with these 5 folks I'm wearing, excuse me, but we want to recognize you and thank you for showing up today. And with that, Sean.
Thanks, Chief. So as many of you know, we have used Facebook as our primary means for communication to the public. And we posted things there like most wanted photos, media alerts, event notices, a lot of photos of canines and horses we posted on Facebook. And as popular as Facebook is, we know that there are people that we still cannot reach through Facebook. We know that as hard as it is to believe, not everyone is on Facebook. And not every one of our pages that we post to Facebook will return in the search engine's media results. So today, we are proud to launch 2 new social media platforms that we feel will help us communicate more effectively to the public. The first is the DPD Beat. And so to direct to the DPD Beat, I'd like you to go to dpdbeat.com, dpdbeat.com. Now this is first phase 1, so for some of you who are searching through your mobile platform, you'll see that it is not quite mobile ready, but dpdbeat.com is a WordPress blog that is sequential in format. You'll see that it will have a number of articles that post down the page, and in the sidebar you'll find our Twitter feed, you'll find the Community Affairs Instagram. So even if you don't use those platforms, you can go to this website and still see what we're tweeting. You can still see the photos that we post on Instagram. We also have static pages at the top of the site that will include helpful phone numbers, that will include contact information for each patrol division, and also there's a section for cold cases where our homicide detectives can ask for help on yet-to-be-solved cases. We'll be able to highlight a number of our good stories, again, that we've been able to do on the blog. And we know that this can be a destination for the public, for our officers to go to once a day, every couple of weeks, every couple of times a week, just periodically to find out exactly what we have going on in the department. We also hope to make more documents available on the site, so we'll be able to upload PDF versions of some of the documents we like to share through the DPDB. So we know that this will be an opportunity for us to deliver the most information in the most effective manner. So if you haven't got it, it is dpdb.com. So that's the first platform that we want to introduce today. The second platform is a new Pinterest site that we're starting. And I've been looking since I've been here at opportunities for law enforcement uses for Pinterest. Many of you know it's a very popular site that's used to post about furniture, post about jewelry, post about a number of things. My personal Pinterest page has Star Wars on it, go figure. But we have found a really excellent law enforcement use for Pinterest based on some of our law enforcement partners in California who are using Pinterest. And we will use this as a place for found property. So our property unit as they find property that may be able to be connected to an owner, they will be able to upload it to the Pinterest site. And we have 5 main categories for Pinterest for found property: found bicycles, sporting goods, hardware, jewelry, and a miscellaneous category. Individuals who believe that they may have owner rights to some of the property that they see on Pinterest will go through the same process that's already in place for people who want to put in a claim for found property. They must show a receipt or proof of purchase, or they can provide photo evidence for their claim. Individuals who make false claims may be subject to prosecution. So here's an example of one of our boards that we've started, and that is for found jewelry. And so we've got a couple of items that are currently posted. We have a men's Rolex watch that's posted, as well as an assortment of rings and a pocket watch. And so anyone who goes to Pinterest, and people can share these pins that are up. They can, if they know who this is or somebody thinks that it's theirs, there's an email address on the site that they can use to contact the property unit and try to put in a claim to their property. So again, these are 2 new platforms that we plan to use starting today. And we know that we are just starting at the tip of the iceberg. I do want to again go over a couple of results that we found from our communication survey that we did in the fall. Here you'll see an answer to a question that we asked for non-emergency communication preferences. And so we asked the public, how would you prefer, which means would you prefer for non-emergency communication with the Dallas Police Department? And as you can see here, or I can explain it to you because the numbers are small, almost 35% of the people said that they would prefer email. So even as we move towards new social media platforms, we know that email still provides a great way to connect with people. Another interesting result is if you add the cell phone in blue here towards the bottom, and if you go to the kind of lighter purple on the right, which is smartphone apps, that's almost 30% between those two. So we know that there's a huge opportunity for us to better connect with the public through mobile as well. Another question that we asked was to ask people to list the top 5 social network services that they use most often. And again, you see email, which was almost 79%. Facebook was almost 69%. And then after that is Nextdoor, which is very popular here in Dallas. We're one of their most popular markets for Nextdoor. Communities are really taking hold for that. And for those who don't know, Nextdoor is kind of like a Facebook for neighborhoods and communities. And texting, again, and texting and smartphone apps were 4 and 5. So again, a high number of folks who say that they prefer to be communicated with through mobile devices. And some of the ones that didn't score as high are going to provide us both an opportunity to connect with a growing user base and younger users for things like Twitter, Instagram, and also Pinterest. So again, those are some results that are due. And we have our social media consultant, Lori Stevens, here to our right, who helped us to conduct this survey and has also helped us with some training that we'll hear about here in a few minutes. So again, dpdbeat.com is our new platform. We'd love for you to go try it out. Let us know what you think. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Max Gary.
Thank you, Sean. As we move forward with our push for social media, what we did last week is we took a number of officers that volunteered from all over the department, and we put them through a one-day training. We hosted that training over the course of 2 days last week. These were volunteer officers from mounted unit, K-9 unit, various investigative assignments, as well as patrol officers that you might see in your community and community affairs personnel. What we trained them in was in the effective and safe use of social media. Given their occupation, there are some concerns that they raised that we addressed on how to safely and effectively communicate through official departmental channels on social media. And we stress that our goal is to be prepared for critical incidents. Heaven forbid we have a Boston-style incident here in Dallas. We know that the community will need rapid and accurate information, perhaps for street closures, even high water locations, or in the event of severe weather. We are in Tornado Alley, so we need to be prepared for that. And information out as quickly and as effectively as we can. Training our officers to use social media from the field is what we believe is an effective way to do that. And we certainly don't want to wait until that event occurs to try to start using that. So we prepared the training and got the officers through that so that they'll be prepared and ready to go should an event like that occur. We also, in our training, as we go forward, we want them to be prepared to handle those critical incidents and newsworthy incidents. For example, tweets by one of our officers that's on special assignment, learning to use that to inform both the media and the public of street closures and or ongoing incidents, vital information that everybody wants to know. From the scene, there have been articles written about our officers going to be tweeting from crime scenes. Well, yes, to some degree they will be, but they won't be tweeting crime scene photos. They won't be tweeting inappropriate material. They'll be sticking to the factual information that we would normally put out at the scene. Because there are so many incidents and so few PIOs, the community will benefit from having those officers in the field tweeting relevant and pertinent information. For example, SWAT call-outs, shooting incidents, just providing basic call update status for the public. And as Sean mentioned, in looking at our survey results, the public wants to receive information in various formats. Email is one of those formats. So we will be, in the media relations unit, looking at ways to better employ email, either in a group setting or for neighborhood watches or individuals themselves, a better way of communicating the information that we need to via those formats. We'll also be working and researching development of mobile applications that will provide the public a better interface with the police department, hopefully to engage them in new and dynamic ways, and looking for just to extend our community efforts and our outreach. It's an exciting time in the Dallas Police Department using social media, and we are pushing the envelope, and I dare say that we lead the country in our use of social media and our pressing the envelope. So with that, I will turn it back over to Melinda.
In conclusion, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. We would like everyone to join us for coffee compliments at McDonald's, which is outside with some other refreshments. Sean Williams, Lieutenant Guerin, will be available for questions here in the front. And we would like to encourage anyone who would like to look at our blog. We have 2 computers set up. You can come look at those. Also, if you could continue to email a DPD tweet to Big today, and we'd appreciate that also. So thank you all for coming. And remember, everything happens is bigger in Dallas.